She said it's early.
I know.
Yes, okay. Who is ready for some live girl chat? Let's get it started. We love hearing from you, so make sure that you head over to the Real Daytime's Instagram page and use the hashtag #GirlChatLive to join in on the conversation. I love hearing what you have to say.
Yes.
Now let's get down to business. I think we should give some money away. Do you feel that?
Yes.
Yeah?
Feel it.
Well, guess what?
Yes.
I've got $1,000 right here.
Where's that?
Boom.
Where's that?
Hi, there it is. Fan myself with it. That we want to give away to one lucky viewer. That's right. It's time for the Reels Dollar Holla Back. This is so exciting. I love
this.
Okay, I'm about to shout out one lucky fan's name and their Instagram handle.
Okay.
If you hear your handle, you have until the end of the show to message us back on Instagram. Make sure to tag us at The Real Daytime so we can get notified. If you holla back at us in time, you are going to win this $1,000 right here. It is yours.
Yes.
Woo! Yes.
If you know the person that she's about to call out,
Yes.
holler at her.
Yes, help out. Be the good
Yes.
Samaritan to tell them to get this money.
Yes. Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who is it?
We want to hear from
Lila.
Latasha Anderson, whose
Latasha.
Instagram handle is @PYTTasha.
Cute.
All right.
@PYTTasha. It's right there underneath me. Now, Latasha, if you're watching, head to the Real Daytime's Instagram page and DM us. Not in a few minutes, but like now, right now. If anyone watching knows Latasha, tag her, wake her up, help her get paid, okay?
Yeah.
The second we hear from her, we'll break into the show and let everyone know.
All right.
Yes, can't wait to hear from you. All right, well, the Real Housewives of New York are hollering at Bravo after taking what they're calling a cruise from hell. The housewives, including Bethany Frankel, were taking a pleasure cruise in Cartagena, Colombia, when the boat started taking on water and the engine caught on fire.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, at one point, the crew even had to saw off the anchor before they could sail away.
What?
A fan took a picture of the housewives looking very disheveled in a Colombian airport. I know. Ramona Singer is even in a wheelchair, you guys, from reportedly twisting her ankle.
Oh, wow.
Page 6 is reporting that the
They're laughing.
housewives... I know, right? Right?
This is terrible.
Yeah. The housewives now want to sue Bravo,
Uh-oh.
but that their contracts might make that very hard.
Wow. So I want to understand a little bit more behind this because is it Bravo's fault that the cruise itself is what broke apart? You know, it's just a little crazy, but I want to say this is where I really appreciate our production company because our production is when we travel, we've gone to the White House. You guys threw me out there across different cities, and I had to jump into live shows and give away money like we did now. And they have handled us so safely, so like carefully. We're precious cargo, and we made everything safe.
But I don't think anyone's intentions are ever for this to go wrong. They could have never predicted that this went wrong.
What kind of cruise? What cruise was
I
this?
know.
Well, have you guys seen the movie Romancing the Stone?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Titanic.
Oh, no!
I was like, whoa.
No, but they kind of have those kind of experiences. And I don't know, sometimes reality television show producers can be a little calculated. I think maybe what they wanted to do was create a fish out of water experience. And maybe they got a little bit more than that.
It was more fish in water.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
check the boat, though. See, this is why when I go on cruises, because I've been on some, you know, the first thing I do is I go find who the captain is, right?
Really?
Yes, my last one I went on, ooh, that was a good one. It was just a little 4-day one to Ensenada.
Yes.
I met the captain. His name was Captain Bruno. I like me some Captain Bruno. Hey, Captain Bruno. Yeah.
This is true. I always, when you guys board a plane, do you always make contact with the pilot?
Always.
Like, you look at me, you're like, we good, right?
And
you got
when
me?
I get off, I'm like, thank you for getting me here safely. Like, thank you
Exactly.
so much.
Because Captain Bruno gave me a tour, and on the cruise ships, they have like a prison, they have a hospital. See, I be wanting to know where all those places are, just in case I had to visit them, right?
Wait. The prison?
There's a prison on
Yeah,
cruise ships?
because when you out on sea, people get unruly, and if they get unruly, they put them in jail. They have like a little jail.
I would never. How many of you guys knew that? I had no idea.
Me either.
That's why you need to know who the captain is and talk to that captain.
Okay, get that tour. I've never been on a cruise before, but watching some of these things, Makes me not want to go on one. Have you been on a cruise?
Yes, I used to go on a lot. We did this thing called, my sister and I did this thing called Sail with the Stars. So they had lots of celebrities. We were all stuck on a cruise, but, you know, some fans, they paid for us to kind of be there and sign autographs and play.
Oh, that's nice.
But it was a lot of fun because we had fun adventures, but it was never like that, thank God.
Cruises are really, the majority of cruises are nice. They're fun. You know, most of them are all-inclusive except for the alcohol, you know, but anyway, Bruno took care of that. But they're really nice and they're really safe, and it's a really fun thing to do, especially if you have large families and you want to, you know, bring everybody together. Except, are we going to show the family that got into a little brawl? There was. Okay. That was you too. Okay, yeah, but there was like, you know, but that rarely happens. It's really, all you do on a cruise is you drink, you have fun, you go to different ports, and you just
but you also hook up. Like, I always think about cruises.
Yeah, you do,
like,
don't you?
Well, nowadays, like, if I go on a cruise, like, of course, you know, after a few drinks and getting romantic, and you just start looking at people, and everybody starts looking real good looking at you.
Yeah, you're in the middle of the ocean.
Yes, but
these
then
are your
if you
options.
do things and you hook up with somebody, and let's just say it goes bad, or maybe they start liking you too much, or just things get too sticky, you got to be stuck on that cruise with them for however long the rest of that cruise lasts.
That's the only thing about it.
So
especially if you, like, a lot of my friends perform on cruises. So the thing is that they perform as comedians, and then they're stuck the whole time on the cruise ship. So, but I think getting back to the Bravo thing, they're just looking for different ways to make the shows exciting.
Yes.
So I think this was just another way, and it just didn't end up right, you know.
Have you ever been on a vacation from hell? Like, just a terrible vacation?
You know about this. I told you, dude, the worst vacation I've ever had didn't even start. Because a few years ago, I decided to have my whole family come together and go on a big family trip.
Sounds great.
We were going to Antigua. I was so excited. It would be our first one. And my parents don't travel a lot. They save money all the time. So I was like, me and my ex was like, let's do this. We're going to plan a family trip. We booked all the tickets. We told them ahead of time, get ready for it. It was Antigua. Beautiful. My dad packed his binoculars and books about birds. It was everything. We arrive. Mama Mai and my dad are still not there. So San Francisco airport, crazy. We're boarding on the plane. Mama Mai calls me and says, they don't let me go on the plane. Something happened. Come. So I had to get off the plane and run out. It turns out at the security gate, Mama Mai didn't bring her passport because she thought Antigua was Hawaii. But she said everybody looked like tropical. So she didn't bring her passport.
Antigua, Jamaica.
Ooh, you want... Yeah, don't sing it, girl. We have to pay for it.
Okay.
So then, you guys, basically, Mama Mai brought no passport. She had, when I got to the security line, she had all these pork sausages and fruits because, like, Asians like to bring fruit on the plane.
I think it says Bermuda, Jamaica.
I guess. I know. I see you laughing.
I don't think it's Antigua. Sorry.
She heard it as Antigua, too.
Kokomo in my head.
No, my mom did.
I know.
So anyway, security didn't let my mom on. Mama Mai, Papa Mai, his binoculars around his neck. No, we cannot go. Why? And so nobody let my mom and my dad on the plane. We got stuck in California with bikinis and shorts for the rest of the holiday vacation. No refund on the trip.
Oh, no.
I was so mad.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, all because she didn't have her passport.
Yes, and
that's not your fault, though. You should check your mama. Make sure she have her passport next time. Ain't nothing wrong with Mama Mai. She's always innocent. I love Mama Mai.
But y'all are traitors, man.
But I have a question. Why didn't you get on the plane? You had a passport.
Because I didn't want to leave my mom.
She didn't want to leave Mama Mai. Don't nobody want to have no vacation without Mama Mai.
See, when I told
it.
Adrienne this story, she was like, girl, you should have got on the plane and just went without your family.
I'd have said, take the next flight.
Boring. No. All right. Well, I'm sure the Housewives will have reservations before they step on that ship again. And speaking of reservations, now Us Weekly is reported that this week Justin Theroux initially had reservations before saying I do to his soon-to-be ex-wife Jennifer Aniston. A source told Us Weekly that Justin felt hesitant due to the fact that they hadn't even figured out where they wanted to live as a couple, and that the marriage was never important to Justin, but because Jennifer wanted a long-term contract, he got married so he wouldn't lose her. Commitment, I'm sorry. I just feel like marriage is a contract to me. That's how I feel. But, okay, y'all do what you want. So, ladies, do you respect Justin listening to his heart? That means marrying her, even though he thought he was going to lose her. Or looking back, should he have maybe listened to his head?
I think you should always listen to your gut. Your gut is never wrong. You know what I mean? So I think that was probably his gut. telling him that?
Pop, what about listening to both? How about that?
How about that?
Well, because both, sometimes they cancel each other out, which is where...
Okay, this is my question. If you have hesitation in any marriage, should you do it?
No.
So he shouldn't have got married to her. That's what you're saying.
No.
I kind of feel for them in a way because you think it could work out. You know, what we're reading, and I don't know them, so I want to just say...
Right.
This is a source telling us, so let's not, believe everything is truth, but...
Us Weekly is a respectable source.
Sure, it is. Sure. But you know how in their statement, which I really enjoy, if you read their statement, their release of why they decided to divorce, they really do say, like, what we're telling you, if you hear it from us, this is the truth. Everything else out there is a fabrication of that person's,
you have
version.
to respect that.
Yes, which I love. But the fact is, Justin did live in New York, and that Jennifer has a place here in LA. And just for my marriage, that was a real... We thought that could work. We legit was like, my Freddie, he lived in Harrisburg, and then he also had a place in...
But did you ever have reservations about that?
Where did you have a place in?
Colorado?
Thank you. Colorado.
Oh, my God.
So we did. Yeah, no, we did have reservations about
We
that.
see why that happened. Okay.
No, it's true.
Real life, you guys, that is not easy.
No.
Like, I think people think that long-distance relationships, and for some it may work, for most it does not.
And that's why you're smart, because you in Israel, you'll travel with Israel. You'll pack up and go. Even if Israel has a job, she's like, I'm going to be right by his side.
I'll be in Nashville this weekend, people.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's important.
But we made that commitment, and I think it's so important to have conversations where if I'm honest, you told us to do this, which I think was so smart.
Yeah.
We brought up the worst case scenarios or any concerns, issues. Like literally him and I have discussed what is the worst thing that could happen and how do we think we'd handle it. So you have to think about just the toughest decisions you'd ever have to make. God forbid if Israel got a job in New York, do I leave this job? Does he give up an opportunity of a lifetime? Those are real conversations you have to have before you get married. If you find out that you have a child that has disabilities, how do you handle that?
If the person decides not to work anymore and doesn't want to work, are you okay with being the sole provider?
But the initial thing that he said was he was afraid he might lose her.
Why?
Because she wanted to get married.
So she wanted the marriage more than he.
That's what
you can't make nobody want to get married. And the moment that you try to get somebody to do something that they don't want to do, red flag, people. He didn't want marriage and you did.
The best advice I ever got.
It is.
But he followed his heart because he didn't want to lose her.
But look what happened, though. They're not together anymore.
So it's like you lose them now or you lose them later.
Yes.
It's like when I didn't want to go through with my engagement, Tam was like, it's better to end it now than to be married years ahead and then you've got to get divorced.
The best advice I ever got that legit still stands today, I don't know if it is for you guys, but when you see red flags before you get married, if you don't iron them out like the way you did, really play out the worst scenarios, when you get married, those problems magnify 1,000 times more. That is so true. So I
would have
advise
to say,
everybody to remember that.
you guys, even when I was dating, which was a long time ago, well, at least it feels that way. Yeah, I mean, I would be married for 7 years, May 5th.
Wow. But that's not that long ago.
That happened so quickly.
Yeah. That's not that long ago.
But when I had reservations, even while dating, I cut it off. I was like, why put myself through that?
Yeah.
I'm a true believer of following your gut.
But
your gut never lies.
yeah.
Don't try to talk yourself out of it.
I mean, it's easy to say that, but I just think, too, that honestly, when we know the story of Jennifer Aniston, we know the backstory, and I think she was put under a lot of pressure. And I think that the tale, even just us regular people can look and say, even if you're put under pressure, don't follow the pressure.
Yes.
Follow what you want to do in life.
Yeah.
Because
Don't do it.
in the end, this is what happens.
I always say, we can fall in love with people that we are not compatible with.
I do all the time.
Literally, I have been in love with people that I was not compatible with. When I look down the line, I'm like, yo, this never would have worked out. We don't like the same things. We don't enjoy, we're not on the same path. You can be in love with people and love people that you are not meant to be with.
That's how I felt about Idris. I'm like, I knew it wasn't gonna work.
Yes,
For
real.
It just wasn't gonna work.
You're so stupid. But seriously, I just genuinely feel like and Jeannie, tell me if I'm wrong here.
Yeah.
We've both been in love with people that maybe compatibility.
Yes.
Where what I want out of life is maybe not what you want. Maybe
Yes.
where I want to live or my goals, my aspirations, what I want for my career is not something. You have to be somewhat on the same path.
Right.
You get what I mean? Because you can love people, but long term, that isn't going to work because you're going in two completely different directions.
But sometimes you think love can. I want you to speak on that.
Yes, and that's
You
why
speak
I
on
gave that analogy about the trees.
Yeah.
When you are two completely different people, when you blend together, trees naturally do this. If you plant two trees together, they begin to intertwine and they begin to actually grow together and they double their lifespan because they become one. And they get the nutrients from the ground and they begin to feed each other. That's a beautiful, harmonious marriage. If you're not, you're two separate trees.
You know how I knew Adam was the one for me?
How, girl?
Because I didn't just see him as someone that I loved or, you know, that he could be my husband. I saw that he could be my
Or could
life.
make good drinks.
Yes, or make great drinks. I saw him as my life partner.
Yes.
In
That's
life.
what it's about.
I wanted to do everything with him.
But you like Adam.
But also, don't you initially think that when you're in love with somebody?
No. I promise you.
Sometimes, and we've said this before, sometimes love is just not enough.
It isn't.
You can love that person, but at some point, you may not be compatible with that person.
Ding,
you may
ding.
not be on the same page. And then in the end, it just doesn't work out.
Giving you gems here
That's
today,
wisdom.
people.